Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of this channel called Patrick the Runner. My name is Patrick Sheridan and I'm here to talk about running. Before starting off, I just wanted to say a big thank you again to everyone who's been watching so far. Please do keep liking the videos if you're enjoying them. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't already, and please do keep leaving your questions in the comment section below because I'm really enjoying answering those. Okay, so in terms of the topic for today's video, this is something that I have been thinking about doing for a while, and what also led me to decide to do this video for this week was that a few people had suggested in the comment section. So what I'm going to be doing the video this week on is my core workout, which is a workout I do twice a week, and I just thought that that might be informative for people who are wondering how they could work on their core in order to improve their running. So I think it's probably a good idea to first talk about what I actually am talking about when I'm talking about my core. So when people refer to their core, quite often I think a lot of people are just talking about their abdominal muscles and trying to develop those, but that's not really what your core consists of. It consists of more than just that. So when I'm referring to my core, I'm talking about my pelvis, I'm talking about my hips, I'm talking about my stomach muscles, but I'm also talking about my lower back as well. And basically, you're just talking about the midsection of your body, and why that's really important is that if you can make that midsection stronger, that means that you're going to be able to stand up taller, run taller, and just improve your efficiency in your running, because your core muscles, your group of core body parts that I'm talking about there, act as the main stabilizer when you're running. And if you can get them strengthened, if you can work on exercises that engage your core and make it stronger, then you're going to be able to run taller, you're going to be able to run with better form in order for you to be able to move quicker. So that's really how that's going to help you, and I hope that makes sense. Effectively, what I'm saying is the stronger your core is, the more likely it is that you're going to have better running form, and that you're going to be able to maintain that running form even when you're getting tired in a race. Because if your core is slightly weaker, then the moment you start to tire, your running form might suffer, which will make it harder for you to keep up that pace, and that's why it's really, really good for your running. Okay, so the first exercise that I'm going to demonstrate, and one that I do at least twice a week, is the plank. A lot of you probably will have heard of the plank, but before going into the demonstration, I just thought I would give a wee bit of a brief explanation as to why I do this exercise and why I think this particular exercise helps me running and why I think it can help you. So there's a few different things that I know that the plank engages. Firstly, there is your rectus abdominis, which a lot of people refer to as your abs, and I know that the plank is good at engaging those muscles. Secondly, you have your obliques, which run at the side of your stomach. And thirdly, you have the transversus abdominis, which is a large muscle that wraps around your sides and your lower back. And really, I know that the plank is good at engaging those three things, and it probably does more than that too. I think it also engages your glutes and your hamstrings. And when you're holding a plank position, you need to keep your spine straight. And in order for you to do that, you have to be engaging all those core muscle groups that I spoke about at the start of my video. And effectively what that does is it allows you to strengthen your core, which, as I've said before, can help you running. So now I'm going to demonstrate the exercise, and hopefully you can start to incorporate this into your training, and hopefully it'll help you. Okay, so now I'm going to get into the plank position, and I'm just going to show you all how I do this exercise. So firstly, what I usually try to do is, to prevent me really hurting my elbows, is to get a mat or something. Quite often we do it on the carpet, but really I just try to make sure that I'm not going to hurt myself by doing it. So if you're doing it for your first time particularly, or if you're not not too used to doing it, it's usually quite good to try to get a relatively soft surface just to prevent injuries or to prevent you getting sore while you're doing it. So this is what I really do. As I've said, I'm going to get myself in the position now, but really it's about trying to keep your back as straight as possible so that you can get that core engaged, and then it's just about holding it. So I usually try to keep my hands fairly straight. It's almost like a press up position, but you're putting your hands out and you're putting your head forward, and really you're just holding that position. And I would usually hold it for about 2 minutes during the first part of my core routine. So this is usually the first core exercise that I do when I go to do my core workout, and I'll hold it for about 2 or 3 minutes. And it's really just this. And again, because my spine is hopefully relatively straight, that means that I'm having to engage my core in order to stay upright. And that's really it. So that's the first exercise I do, and I hope that's helpful to people. Okay, so now the second exercise I'm going to demonstrate is the side plank, and it works very well at engaging your core, similar to the plank, but I think it also works on developing some of your back muscles as well, which are things that the plank doesn't quite do as much. So this is really, really effective again at getting that core engaged and improving your core strength, which is what we all want to do. So now I'm going to give a demonstration of it on the mat here. So I usually just get down and I'll go on one side. What happens is that I'll stay on one side for 30 seconds and then I'll switch over to the other side for 30 seconds, and I'll usually do that 3 times. So 3 by 30 seconds on each side. And it's just really getting yourself into this position and trying to again stay up straight, so that your spine is straight and so that you're engaging your core as much as you can and allowing your body to strengthen your core. And to make it a wee bit harder, this is something that you can work on doing over time, but if you're finding that you can do this relatively comfortably, then it can be a good idea to raise your leg, and I think that just makes it a wee bit more difficult to do. And that's really it. So that's the second exercise. Hope that's informative again. Okay, so exercise number 3 here that I'm going to demonstrate are something called Russian twists. These are something that I quite often use a medicine ball to do them with. This is a 5 kg medicine ball. I quite often do them with a 4 kg medicine ball. Again, do it with a weight that you're comfortable with or comfortably uncomfortable with. Don't be doing it with a weight that's too heavy, because you'll just end up hurting your back. You want, as I keep saying, to be engaging your core and to be ensuring that it's your core muscles that are being worked and that you're not going to injure yourself. But this is something that you also don't probably need weight for. You could do it without that, and really the idea with adding weight is just to increase a bit of resistance so that your core's working that wee bit harder. So what I'm going to do now is you'll see that I'm just lifting my legs up and I'll lift this medicine ball up, and the idea here is that you're working your abdominal muscles again, but you're also engaging your obliques, because you're turning from side to side and you're going like this. And I usually do 30 of these. It's just my routine. It's not necessarily what you all have to do, but again, I'm just showing what my core routine is. And yeah, I'll do this and just go from side to side, doing 30 of these. And then I usually find it makes it a bit harder. It's just extend my legs out a bit. So after I've done 30 of those, I'll do 20 of these. Okay, my knee crack with that. So while I'm doing this, I'm also doing that twisting motion, but I'm also getting my knees up to my stomach, which is almost like a bit of a crunch, bit of an ab crunch. So it's almost kind of like 2 exercises in one that I like to do there. And then to finish, sometimes I see boxers and things doing it, but it's just something that I've done since I was about 16. Again, there's no necessarily scientific reason for it, but I'll quite often just drop the medicine ball down my stomach 20 times just to finish. and that's something that I'll do after I've done the plank and the side planks, and I will usually do 3 to 5 sets of that in my core session. And as I've said, I do this core session at least twice a week, so that's the third exercise. Hope you all enjoy that. Okay, so the fourth exercise that I'm going to run through here, which I do quite often, is ab crunches. And again, it's a good way of making sure that you're working those abdominal muscles, and it's something that I do usually twice a week. I'm going to go in and demonstrate it now. So basically I almost think it's a wee bit like a cycling motion, because you're moving your arms and legs almost in sync, and you just need to get yourself into a wee bit of a rhythm, but it's really, really good. And again, I'll usually do 30 seconds, take a wee bit of a break, maybe 15 seconds or so, and then I'll do it for another 30 seconds, and then a 15-second break, and another 30 seconds. So I'll do 3 by 30 seconds, and I find it's been a really good exercise for me over the years. I've been doing these core exercises since I was about 16, and I think they have been working quite well for me, so feel free to try them at home yourselves.
So this is really just it, and it's 30 seconds of this. So it's like left elbow, right knee, left knee, right elbow. And that's it. So that's the fourth one.
Okay, so this is the fifth exercise I'm going to run through here, and I call them leg raises. Basically, I just put myself flat on the ground with my back on the ground, and I'll lift my feet up about 6 inches above the ground, and I'll hold that for about 30 seconds. So this is it really. I'll try to keep my hands here. I'm trying to make sure my head's back so that I'm not lifting my neck up, because then you can put strain on your neck. So it's better to lie flat down and then lift your feet up, as I said, roughly 6 inches above the ground. And if you hold that position, you can just feel it in your core, and you can feel that your core muscles are working. And a variation of that you can do, and you quite often see them doing it in the military training camps, and I think the Navy SEALs are known for doing it in a lot of their training, or flutter kicks. And basically they're just like that there. And that's just a variation you can do of it. So again, I need to make sure my head's back. And that's really it. Okay, so the sixth exercise that I'm going to show you all here is called the Froghold. I think you can call it the Froghold or the Frog Stand. It doesn't really matter, but again, it's something I've been doing also since I was about 16. There was one year where I got a medicine ball for Christmas, and then I just started to do all these core exercises, and I haven't really stopped. So I'm just giving you all an insight into the routine, and this is something that I usually do for about a minute. Again, like the rest of the exercises, this is just a part of my twice a week core routine, and I find that it's been very beneficial for me over the years, and I just enjoy doing it. So I'm going to demonstrate that here again. If you can't do it at home, no issues at all. You can do all the other things that I've talked about, and there's plenty of other core exercises that you can do out there. But if you want to give this a go, feel free to. If you can't hold it for a minute, if you can only hold it for a second or two, that's fine. But it's something that you can try to work up, building on incrementally, and over time you'll find yourself that you'll get better at these things if you work on some of the stuff that I have shown just before this. So yeah, I'm going to give a demonstration now. So basically you almost need to get yourself into a squat position, I find. So it does require good flexibility and good mobility. And sometimes I'll find that if I haven't been stretching in a while, or if I feel particularly tight, I'm going to actually find it hard to get into this position. But hopefully this isn't one of those days, because I'd look like a bit of an idiot if I couldn't do my own exercise. So I try to get my knees down like this, and I try to get my elbows under my knees to be able to hold myself in this position, and then I hold myself up, and I just try to get my feet off the ground and make sure that my feet are staying off the ground. And what this is really good at developing and improving is, as well as your core, your balance. And your balance is another element that is really important for your running, because it allows you to keep running in a straight line, which sounds silly, but a lot of people probably don't run in a straight line. And obviously if you're not running in a straight line, you're wasting energy. But it also helps keep you upright and keeps your posture good. So it's good in a lot of ways. And sometimes I find that I'll start to shake a bit more as I get tired, so I'm not sure if it looks like I'm shaking in the video. Probably does. But this exercise is also good for your shoulder strength and your arm strength, because I can feel those muscles in my shoulders and arms working now in order to keep me up. I'll just try to hold it for another few seconds. And now I'll let go. Yeah, I don't know if that was a minute or not, because I usually time it, and I'll usually take my watch off and have a look at the clock while I'm doing it, so I don't know how long that was, but hopefully you all enjoyed that and find that those were interesting exercises to watch, and hopefully you can all take on board some of that information. Again, I'm not trying to pretend that I'm some expert in strength and conditioning, but these are things that I include in my own routine, and I think quite a lot of other people do use those exercises that I've demonstrated there, or at least some of them, and they really can be beneficial for your running. So I hope again that helps. Okay, so this is another exercise I do at home regularly. I do it about 2 or 3 times a week, and you may or may not have heard of it. I think it is a CrossFit exercise predominantly, but it's also one that I do, and obviously I'm not somebody who does CrossFit. I'm focusing on running, and it's called toes to bar, and it's a really good holistic exercise, I would say, because it works your hip flexors, it works your abs, it works your back, and it's also working your arms. So it's a really good exercise for engaging your core, but also working on different muscle groups as well. And it's something that I try to do regularly just to keep my core strong and to make sure that I'm regularly engaging my core muscles and those other muscles that I talked about. And it's something that I would recommend you start doing as well. So I'm going to show you now what I usually do, and I usually do 3 sets of 10 of these a couple of times a week while I'm doing the core around the house. Good thing about having one of these also is that you don't need to go to a gym to do it. I do these throughout the day, sometimes just if I'm a bit bored or if I feel like I want to do a bit of exercise, and it's that type of thing that I think really does keep you fit and makes the difference at the end of the day, because it's all the wee small things that really do add up. So I'm going to show you now what I'm talking about. Before starting this, I would actually say that you need to make sure your bar is on tight, because obviously it could go south pretty quickly if it's not. So yeah, just make sure your bar is on tight if you do have one. So that's it, that was the 10. And I would add, if you want to, and you can't do those toes to bar because it does take a bit of time to do that, you could just do knees to chest really, which is this, and you can do slight variations of that from side to side, but I'll show you here. So I'll do 5 of them because I'm tired. So that's 5, and then if you had a wee bit more room, you could do them to the side like this. So I hope that's helpful. Okay, so I hope everyone found the video and the demonstrations and the explanation somewhat informative and insightful, and I hope it can help you all see what exercises you could also be doing to improve your own running, because as I said, your core is a fundamentally important part of your running, And if you work on strengthening your core, you will notice that your running form will get better, and you will be able to maintain good posture and good running form for longer durations, which, as I said before, will help you to be able to run quicker. So I hope that was helpful. I just wanted to say again a really big thank you to everyone who has been watching the video so far. I am going to keep uploading a video at least once a week, and thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you all soon and that you have a great week. Thank you very much.